What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. Now, you guys can probably already tell that it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely gonna want to check this one out. So we're seeing a massive number of New Yorkers flocking away from that mayoral campaign of Zoran Mamdani after yet another major scandal was just uncovered, guys. And I'm excited to get into this one, so we're not straight into it. All I ask that you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
Recently, you heard President Trump suggest he's going to withhold federal funding, possibly send in National Guard troops if you're elected. Andrew Cuomo has kind of amplified that. What do you say to New Yorkers who say, is this worth the hassle of losing perhaps a lot of money in federal funding if you become the mayor?
We're already seeing this as a reality with Eric Adams as the mayor, right? The federal administration took $80 million out of city coffers. They suspended $50 million for our city schools. And then they threatened to withhold $18 billion in infrastructure grants. And the most effective way to push back on his threats is to actually name them for what they are and then use every tool at your disposal to take them on.
So what do you do if he decides? I mean, we already saw there was an ICE action on Canal Street. They said they were targeting undocumented immigrants who were, selling counterfeit bags, which on Canal Street is kind of, there's a long history of that, obviously. What do you do?
I think this is an example of what is unacceptable in this country. I think the first thing that you do is you close the door that Eric Adams opened to the NYPD doing civil immigration enforcement. He said that on national television. The second thing you do...
So you would not allow the New York Police Department to engage or to cooperate with ICE or DHS?
Not in civil immigration enforcement. We have sanctuary city laws where we've made very, very clear that for a set of serious crimes, there is coordination with the federal administration. But anything beyond that, I think 172 crimes that are listed, that is something for the NYPD to focus on purely right here in New York City.
All right, folks, and that right there is a little snapshot and a preview into what that mayoral candidacy would look like for Zoran Mamdani in NYC if he does get elected in. And it looks as if he's following in the footsteps of that mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago, another sanctuary city that's been fighting President Donald Trump in his efforts to clean up the migrant and crime crisis in his city every step of the way. Meanwhile, we got President Donald Trump and that superstar CNN host Scott Jennings breaking down the real, saying that Mamdani is not ready. He's not qualified to be the mayor of NYC, one of the largest cities across our nation.
And all the way from Asia, President Trump weighed in on the race tonight, claiming, quote, the more people learn about Mamdani, the less they like him.
Well, first of all, I agree with the president. I think the more people learn about Mamdani, the more they see these old videos of him saying outrageous things about any number of issues. These things are surfacing. People are seeing them maybe for the first time as they decide who to vote for. And they're thinking, what are we about to do here in New York City? Not to mention the fact that the kid has literally no experience running, doing anything in his life at all that would have prepared him to run New York City. It's the financial capital of the world, for goodness sakes. It's one of the most complicated political jobs in the world. And you're going to turn it over to somebody who has no track record whatsoever. So I think the president's right. I do think the polling shows he's likely to win because, Cuomo, I mean, let's be honest, pretty flawed guy, too. And the Republicans don't have much of a party there. So this fragmented field with a flawed opposition in a city that doesn't really, elect Republicans all that often, that's probably going to put Mamdani in office. But pray for the people of New York. Schumer is interesting because he's already taken the government hostage because he's afraid of getting a primary from his left. That's why we're in the middle of a shutdown right now. I don't know why he just wouldn't go ahead and take the full plunge and endorse Mamdani, too, and try to appease these radicals in his party even further.
Well, I mean, by a huge British paper yesterday saying that Bill de Blasio, another former New York City mayor, was claiming that Mamdani's proposals weren't achievable, weren't workable. It has been taken down. He said that he never spoke to that reporter. And the newspaper said today that one of the reporters was duped by someone who was pretending to be de Blasio and gave fake quotes criticizing Mamdani.
Of all the identities in the world to steal, Bill de Blasio's, that would be pretty far down on my list, but somebody did it. I mean, pretty wild.
And that right there is just the facts of the matter. With Zoran Mamdani, he's not capable or qualified to be running NYC. We know exactly what he's going to do. If he does get to control, he's going to run that place directly into the ground. And it shows, and now folks are turned against him. Now they're learning what he truly stands for behind the scenes when the camera's not rolling. Folks are seeing these scandals that are emerging and saying, hey, is this the guy that I truly want to be at the head of NYC? I don't think so. so, and the polls are now reflecting this. We're seeing his numbers dwindle. It's fallen overnight. We're seeing him fall all the way down to a 43% chance of winning that mayoral election. And I want to show you guys, here's where things kind of heat up. We now have some leaked video footage surfacing, exposing the truth on how Zoran Mamdani is manipulating the vote in NYC. Guys, check this one out.
The mosque. We organize the mosque. We get the imams to tell people, go vote. We get Zoran to go there and talk to them. That's how we do it. That's how you do it. We go to 100 of them a week. 100 mosques. And we get young lesbian white women to go and give out flyers at a mosque. It's so good.
Just like that, yet another scandal comes out the woodwork. So Zoran Mamdani, this is taking even more supporters away from his campaign. This is Robert Ackley, a citywide canvas director for Zoran Mamdani, saying Mamdani is getting more votes by visiting mosque. And this does not surprise me that he's having young lesbian white women go to a mosque, and he's visiting mosque every week to try to gain more support, because I mean, this is who he truly is. We cannot forget that the mother of Zoran Mamdani just came out and revealed that he is not an American. He thinks of himself as a Ugandan and an Indian. I mean, it's all right here. She said that in an interview in 2013, and it's now coming back to light that Zoran Mamdani is not who he's paid himself to be. He does not love our country. He does not think of himself as an American. And we all know exactly what he's going to do. He's going to try to turn NYC into an Islamic state. But guys, that's not even the worst part of it all. Now reports are coming in that stating that he is receiving illegal campaign contributions. Now that's where we get into some legal prosecutions potentially for Zoran Mamdani. I want you guys to take a look at this one.
This morning, New York Democratic mayoral candidate Zoran Mamdani faces brutal backlash after accepting thousands of dollars in illegal foreign donations. Reports show his campaign received more than 170 contributions from addresses outside of the U.S., amounting to more than $13,000. Republican mayoral candidate Curtis Sliwa said it's very problematic, not just for Zoran Mamdani, but anybody who has these kinds of PACs, because it's a license to illegally funnel money. And foreign countries know you don't have to go to war against America. All you got to do is manipulate the election.
Wow, folks, looks like we're finally cracking open that Pandora's box. The scandals of Zoran Mamdani, as we're seeing scandal after scandal after scandal with this guy. And now we're working our way off into the realm of potential prosecution, with him said to have been receiving illegal foreign campaign contributions, which we all know is a prosecutable offense. And now we've got his own people coming out. This right here is a migrant Middle Eastern New Yorker calling out Zoran, saying he can no longer promote or support what he is after.
This might be news to some, but I am a Middle Eastern immigrant. And one thing I gotta say about Mamdani is that if you guys do vote for him to be the New York City mayor of your fourth largest economy in the world, your country, your United States, your New York City will sink faster than a scuba diver.
That one speaks volumes for the campaign of Zoran Mamdani. Just look at it. It's his own people, his own folks that are calling him out, saying, hey, this is not what we can stand for. We already know the great harm and the danger that you're going to put New Yorkers in, and we just don't want to allow it. But instead of addressing any of the scandals that have recently emerged against Mamdani, he's now doubling down, warning rich folks that if they flee the state or flee the city of NYC, he will chase them down and still tax them.
So let's talk through these policy points. Freezing the rent for more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants does not require money from the city. It is a determination made that landlords cannot increase the rent for those about 1 million apartments. That's something the city has done before. Making buses free costs around $700 million. Providing universal childcare costs about $6 billion. These are significant amounts of money. They have to be understood in the context of a $116 billion city budget, a state budget of more than $252 billion. The money that we would raise to fund this agenda is in two parts. The first is by increasing the state's top corporate tax rate to match that of New Jersey. That would raise $5 billion. This would only impact the most profitable corporations, ones that are making millions of dollars in profits. The second is to increase... Please.
You're sure they're not going to leave it? Y esas compañías no se van a ir de Nueva York. They're not going to leave New York.
So the way that this tax works is it applies to any business doing business here. They could be located in Miami, but if they're doing business in New York, it applies to them. And the reason I believe everyone will keep doing business here is our economy is so large that if it was a country, it would rival the top countries in the world. The second is personal income taxes. I think that the top 1% of New Yorkers who make $1 million or more a year should pay 2% more in personal income taxes.
This Zoran Mamdani character has completely lost it, and it shows just by what he's proposed to me. He wants free for all of New Yorkers. He wants to increase taxes on the rich and big corporations so they run out of the state of New York. And then he threatens to say, hey, even if you leave or flee the state, the city, guess what? We're still going to come and tax you. Well, I hate to burst your bubble. We got Governor Kathy Hochul here singing a whole different tune.
We know that Mamdani does want to tax the rich more, bring it up about 2%. He can't do that on his own. You've previously said that you wouldn't be raising taxes. Have you reconsidered that stance?
No, I would say one energetic rally does not get me to change my positions, I assure you. But I do hear people's voices. I process what everybody says, but I'm also have to balance governing this state and making sure that those people who are actually the reason we have a generous, supportive budget that helps lift people up, it's their revenues that we tax. 1.5% of New Yorkers cover about a third of our budget. That's enormous. I'm concerned about outmigration of people who are the ones who are supporting our budget. I cannot make up for that with middle class tax increases. I cannot do that to the middle class and the struggling New Yorkers. So this is the balance. I mean, this is my position.
Well, there's Mamdani getting caught in yet another lie. We see that the governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, states she's not even looking into a tax hike on the rich because she knows the great harms and dangers it will cause to her state. Folks will just flee. They're not going to stay there any longer. And of course, this sparked even more protests against Zoran Mamdani as we're seeing his support dwindling.
In America, I asked President Donald J. Trump to ban Sharia law in America, in Puerto Rico, and across all U.S. territories.
You don't like our laws? Get the f*** out of America!
Assimilate or leave. This is not hate. What we say is with truth and love. We will not be silent. You will not use the Constitution against us. You will not use your religion against us. Practice your religion, but it's not going to supersede America, the Constitution, and the people that we are. We love the melting pot. This is America, and it's going to stay that way. If you can't assimilate, you got to go. That's it. You got to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
No communismo. No communismo. No.
Now we're seeing even more New Yorkers rising up, making a stand against Scamdani over there in their great city, saying, hey, if you're not willing to assimilate, you don't belong in our country. We also had Speaker Mike Johnson. He couldn't help but weigh in on this tragedy that is Zoran Mamdani, saying that New Yorkers need to wake up. It's clear.
Mamdani winning New York City would be the biggest win for the Marxists, the socialists, in the history of this country. We have, to this point, in nearly 250 years, been able to hold off those kinds of ideas. We've been able to cling to the foundational principles of America, the ideas of individual freedom and limited government and the rule of law and peace through strength and fiscal responsibility and free markets and human dignity. All those things are in jeopardy when the Marxists take over. And it's the clearest sign yet that the Democrats' radical Marxist wing is winning the battle for control of their party. Look at where the energy is. This should be alarming to everyone around the country. Mamdani has, of course, called to defund the police, to abolish all prisons, to legalize prostitution. He lambasted the New York PD, the New York Police Department, as a racist system. And you might have seen, few in the media are covering this, but there was a new video uncovered from 2023, just 2 years ago, and he said, quote, "We have to be clear, when the boot of the NYPD is on your neck, it's been laced by the IDF." Look, it's a unique talent to merge one's loathing for American law enforcement with their loathing for the Jewish people. But this guy's, he's managed to do it. New York is just the tip of the iceberg. It's not isolated to America's largest city. It's other cities as well.
Speaker Johnson with another powerful message urging New Yorkers to wake up, to snap out of it, because he can already foresee the damage and the problems that will be caused underneath the leadership of Zoran Mamdani. We do not need that. And this is not an isolated situation. We've already seen what's happening over in Seattle. We've seen what's happening in Michigan, now in Minnesota. I want to give you guys just a brief look at what's going on in Minnesota. I mean, these are the only two options for mayor in Minnesota, and it's quite frightening. Just look at this.
Somalia hanulato! Somalia hanulato!
Somalia! Somalia, Hiran State, Mawisle, Mawisle.
And I really do hope you guys are starting to get the bigger picture that's being painted here. We're quickly seeing a trend across our nation of these cities being turned into Islamic states by these radical socialist democratic candidates. And we cannot allow that to continue happening, guys. But you already know this has the internet in an absolute frenzy. I want to check in with the perspectives and some of the reactions of our friends on X. We're going to start off here with our friend Anna's Writing Nook. And she's tweeting out saying they use liberals for their agenda. And once again, they reach that goal, then the liberals are expendable. You can find this all throughout history. And that's exactly the point that we've been trying to push to New Yorkers. I mean, you think they're your friend all the way up until the campaign trail is over and they've been elected in, they've got your vote, and then they don't look back and they don't care about you one bit. They never think about you again. And we also have Mike Engelman here on X tweeting out saying that NYC, New York City, will forever be finished if Mamdani is elected. And I believe that's a pretty accurate statement, especially what we've been seeing him propose. And it's been free this, free that, on top of the fact that he wants to defund the police. He wants to defund the prison systems. I mean, this guy wants to cause total chaos amongst the city. Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh my goodness. Once again, we're seeing yet even more scandal being revealed against this socialist democratic candidate, Zoran Mamdani. And I'm just like, when is enough going to be enough? When are we finally going to hold this man accountable? He is getting away with everything under the sun. We've already seen him falsifying official documents in order to gain citizenship within our country. Now he's getting caught accepting illegal foreign campaign contributions, also known as a bribe money. When do we hold this man accountable? We need to see some serious investigation into this matter. We cannot let this all be swept beneath the rug and this guy to just weasel his way into that New York City mayoral seat. I don't want to see it. And I know a lot of New Yorkers are starting to wake up and regret going out and early voting because they picked the wrong guy. But guys, definitely hop in that comment section. Comments are open. And I'm excited to hear what you guys are thinking on this. When the latest scandals of Zoran Mamdani pop in the comments, let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next week.